Welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla. I am starting to play with my October Obsession collection. Now the papers I'm playing with today came from the Wedgwood 49 and Market collection. I had thrown them in with my fall collection that is made up, I believe, if I remember correctly, 3 different 49 and Market collections that I just bought bits and pieces of. But I love this blue. Love it to bits. And as I started working with it, one of the things that struck me is that Katie Petite puts so much design into a piece of paper. I don't want to cover it up. But that's part of the collage experience, is that you can see some peeking through, some of it's hidden, some of it is, you know, all of those elements added together create even more interest. So my original plan was to use 2 pieces of paper, and I was going to back this paper with this one. And that would have worked. It was beautiful. It would have worked out just fine. However, I'm being stingy and I just didn't. I just couldn't. I just couldn't use that paper as a backup, as a background. So I dug in my cardstock, which is also a good thing. And I found a blue that I was happy with to use as my base. Then I trimmed this by trimming off the branding strip. I trimmed off a 1/2 inch because there wasn't a ton of design at the bottom. And then I did a 1/4 inch off of each side, which I then re-adhered with the tiny attacher up at the top. So I flipped this, the reverse side of this design is this, that diagonal stripe. So it's a tone-on-tone diagonal stripe, and it's pretty as well. All of these papers are pretty. A side, B side, it doesn't matter. It's all yummy, and I would love to keep it all, but you know what? I also want to play with it and use it. So this is me doing the things. I am playing with it. Now, I've held on to this Wedgwood for a hot minute because I can't remember if it was last year. I know I bought it last year, but I don't remember when it was released. So that's beside the point. I've made my base, and as you can see, it looks perfectly fine just as it is. Here's what I did. I inked my edges. I attached strips to the top and bottom with a tiny attacher. And I used some fabric washi. This is from, I believe this is from Spectrum. No, this is from Art Options Avesta collection. So I want to say this is the first washi, fabric washi I had ever gotten from 49 and Market, designed by Katie, and I love it. So here is the fabric washi. Tim Holtz has a similar product, and then that design rolls into, it has where this, can you see it, this kind of a coral pink there, and then it goes into the more taupe muted there with text, and then it repeats again with that bit of coral peach. So I took a piece here because what I'm trying to do, this design that's in this piece of paper has that coral leaf here. It has one here, and those are a diagonal design, and I decided I wanted it in 3. So I just brought that color down here to the bottom. As an aside, doing process videos is probably the most difficult part of having videos for me, because I'm not an outward processor. I process inward. I think about things inside my head. I don't really talk about it. This drives my husband crazy, by the way. And then I'm ready to talk about it. So like if we're having a disagreement, I try not to say anything until I have thought it through, and then I talk about it. I will always talk about it. But in his mind, I'm ignoring him and giving him the silent treatment. So we just come at things very, very different. He is an outward processor. Y'all don't need to know all of that. But anyway, I've told you that because telling you what I'm thinking as I'm thinking it is a challenge for me. Another thing that I brought in, because I'm trying to bring in product, I have this washi that is stamps. So I picked out some that have the blues to play with. Now these bring in the green, and I'm not sure I'm there. So I've got them stuck up here easy to reach, just in case that I do decide to go ahead with that option. Then last night I watched, now I stalk Katie Petite. I did not know if y'all knew that or not, but it's true, I do. Whatever she's making, I want to see it. All of it. She is an amazing designer. She is a designer whose designs speak to my aesthetic. I appreciate everything that she creates. Another designer that I truly appreciate their design is Tracy Reed. Very, very different sort of designers, but I really like both of their creations. Now, in saying that, last night when I was watching Instagram Reels, and I saw Katie play with, she was making in her art journal. So she was doing memory keeping in her art journal, which I love, because all of these different paper craft, I'm jumping around like a rabbit trying to find a hole, but just stay with me. All of these different paper crafting genres can overlap and be brought together. So she was memory keeping in her art journal, which is, yes, we can do that. But let me show you what she was doing. So she had a brayer, which, ta-da, I have a brayer. And she had a blank sheet. This is my scrap. And she got her color choices. These are the color choices I'm going to use. Now this is, I don't have a lot of acrylic paint left because I had to throw a lot away. It died. But I do have these. So this is acrylic paint that I got from Target about 4 or 5 years ago. And it still moves. That's a positive. So she just dabbed. This has never been opened. It's truly precious to me. She just blooped. Now her acrylic paint is in a tube, but she just blooped and just started spreading with her brayer. Now, one of the things that I like, the reason I liked what she was doing is because acrylic paint drinks, it just absorbs quickly into paper. And you don't have this huge drying time. And I am a fan of that. Now, I honestly used a little too much. So I'm going to grab a scrap and I'm going to let me tell you what else I'm going to do before I make a blazing mess here. I'm going to get my glass mat out. Now, this is not a fully developed idea, and that's why it makes me nervous, because I'm just, you know, skittish that way. I like to process videos, make me nervous because by their very nature, everything's not perfectly planned out. You're just making. So we're just not trying to be perfect with this. We're just getting the paint to where we can get it. Now this has a little bit of shimmer to it. Can you tell? That is pretty, pretty, pretty. And honestly, you can see my fingerprints in there, but not a lot of paint is transferring to my fingertips. Good sign. I like that. That's one of the reasons why I like acrylic paint, is the quick drying time. Now this coral, I want to blend, but I want it around the edges mostly. So I'm going to be more careful with how I do it. And let's see, what kind of tools do I have nearby? So I have this paintbrush. I can use this paintbrush. So I'm kind of going to guide and direct where I want the paint to be. And this is not as dark as I wanted, to be honest. And I'm going to clean that off. And I honestly need a bowl of water. I wasn't prepared for life today. I'm sorry. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I need to clean this. Okay, I'm back. That literally just took a couple of seconds because I have the bathroom just down the hall. And my OCD feels better. So see how that's skipping, and I'm okay with that. This doesn't have to be perfect. I would prefer this to be a little darker, and that's what I was hoping that that bronze would give me, is darken up this coral. So I'm going to take that off, and we're just going to go up. Will I use this other piece? I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know how the spirit will lead me. Now I want to cut this down to about a 5x7 because that's what I need to mat my 4x6 photo. Just going to rub a little bit more. That one corner is really saturated. And then I'm going to get my baby wipes, and we're going to clean this all up. I bought myself a new pack of baby wipes the other day. You know, it's the little things that make you feel rich. Having a brand new pack of baby wipes on standby when this one runs out. That is what makes me feel like I am rolling in the dough. I'm silly, and I know I am. Okay. See, now this is not bowing up horribly because of the moisture, and it is usable. I can put my photo down on it pretty soon. I'm just cleaning up because it drives me bananas not to have things clean. I don't like messes. That message has not gotten clear to my dogs yet, but they create messes all the time. It's literally like having children all over again. I was telling my husband the other day, I said, you know, if we had sat down and really thought it through, we wouldn't have adopted Charlie. So I'm glad it was a spur of the moment decision, and we did it because we wouldn't have her. And I'm glad we have her. We would have talked ourselves out of it. Okay. I'm going to use up one more because I'm rich and I can do this. I can use an extra one. And I'm going to wash my fingers now. I've got that extra pack. I'm rolling. I can just use up the baby wipes now. All right, we are ready. This, I'm just going to lay back with my scraps. Don't know if I'll use it. We're going to place this down here on the floor. There we go. That goes to the side. And we're going to just trim this to 5 by 7. So there's 5. I think we want to trim, let's do the 7 first. Let's see what that leaves me with. I think I'm going to go to this side. Maybe this side. And what I'm going to mat this with is dark blue that I had out just the other day while I was planning. So this is cardstock from Creative Memories a cajillion years ago, because they didn't, this was before they started doing 12 by 12. That's how old it is. And so I'm going to say roughly 1999, 2000, somewhere in that era. Yeah. All right. Now, when I show you the photo, I hope you're as wowed with the photo as I was when I was taking it. And it may be one of those you just had to have been there kind of moments. Okay, let's put the stuff away. And here is my photo. This is my niece. And I'll tell you about this photo real quick. So I was doing her senior portraits with her and a friend from high school, and it was in November before they graduated in May. It was getting chilly. We were up on a bluff taking photos. It was very rocky. Over to her right is a sheer drop that goes down, and you can see the valley below. It's gorgeous, gorgeous view. And we had brought, or in my car, I typically keep a blanket, but I had a blanket in my car, and it was getting chilly. They were dressed in dresses that were thin and didn't have sleeves and the whole 9. So I told my husband, I said, go grab that blanket out of my car. So this is Ashley, my niece. Absolutely beautiful. She wrapped the blanket around her shoulders because she was cold. She's barefoot. And she was walking across this way between the rocks to talk to her friend. And I said, Ashley, stop. And it was because the sun was making that, there's a technical term for it. My brain just went blank. I know y'all get so sick of that. I do too. Trust me. My brain just, when I'm right in the middle of a conversation, just goes bleep. It's gone. But anyway, solar flare. Yes, it was creating the solar flare effect on her. And I said, just slowly walk toward me. And so the wind was blowing, and it was blowing her dress, and it was blowing the blanket and her hair. And then she's got this backlighting on her hair. It just was beautiful. And so I did a sequence of shots with her walking toward me. And then she got a small video of just, you know, they had everything, you know, kind of blowing in the wind and her walking toward me. It was just one of those moments that if you're a photographer, yes, take the photos that your client is paying you for, that they request, but also watch for those moments that just create themselves and take those photos too. Those typically become your clients' more liked photos. That was free. So now we're coming back to what we've created here. Now I want to keep where it says floral photography here. I want to keep that, and it's got some stitching, and it has some, looks like stamping, and I just want to mat the photograph there. I think there's not a lot I can do to this because it's already there. But I believe this is going to be my layout. Let me just try one of these stamps just to see how it looks. I could make a cluster down here. But this is not the right color of blue. And it's not playing well with that color of blue. Let me see. I have a stamp that is black. I could use down here. That could work. It says remember. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second and play with making a cluster down here, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, I think I've come up with a solution. So I found these Prima flowers that I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance. And thank goodness Hobby Lobby does clearance, because Prima flowers otherwise are pretty expensive. Now in my kit, part of my die cuts is this Forever Fall. I thought I could slide that down here and then put the stamp that says remember about here. Something like that. And then maybe do a floral here, and then slide this behind all of that, so that Little Adventures is kind of peeking out. And then I'm going to do a floral here and then here. Now the reason I'm doing, because this already has a diagonal orientation for the design, I decided to keep with that diagonal and then do a cluster here. That's my design decisions. I still have not decided on a title. I need to think about that. I need to think about that because I'm not sure that what I want my title to be. So we're just going to adhere these. And I don't really care where they lay. That's not super important to me. I'm okay with it being a little haphazard. The most difficult part is making the decision, not slapping it down. So this will dry and they will be adhered. It's going to take just a minute. And I need to think about a title. What am I going to, and what do I even want that title to look like? So something that did not come with these kits are titles. So I can't cheat and just use something that came in the kit. So let me pause, think about the title for a minute and placement, and I'll be right back. Guys, you are not going to believe what I just found. So I was digging through my rub-ons, and I found this from Tim Holtz. And I was thinking I would use this one, Journey, because she's starting, you know, this is her senior portrait. She's starting a journey. And then I found, dun da da, I found Wedgwood rub-ons. Didn't even know I had these. What the crud? Look, y'all, these came out in 2020. That's why I was pretty sure that they were pretty old, that this line is getting older. Not in the history of my scrap inventory, but because this piece in the back is probably a good 20 years old at least. But anyway, I'll stop rambling and let's think about, so I have this Enjoy Life. And then today, I can do Enjoy Life Today across here. But I want this floral photog to be still visible. And I think I'm going to have to use like this butterfly. I have to either here or here. Okay, let's do the thing. And also, here on this branding strip, it has Grow, Best Ever, and Enjoy Life. And I think I'm going to do, like, tuck in, yeah, somewhere here. I'm going to tuck in something over here. Yes, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use bits and pieces off of this. All right, I'm excited now. Okay, I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. Okay, friends, I do believe I am finished with this layout. I decided to use Enjoy Life Today rub-ons for my title. And I cut up my branding strip because it had fantastic elements in the branding strip. Now, I don't know if it's 49 and Market, or if it's Katie Petite, or if it's their collaborative brains working together. But let me just, it makes me so excited, but let me just go into detail for just 1 minute. Bear with me. The fact that the branding strip had such intentional attention to design and cohesive theme just makes, I love it. I love that. It makes me excited. It makes me happy to work with it. But this Enjoy Life is from the branding strip. This Grow and this Definition is from the branding strip. This Best Ever and this Definition is from the branding strip. Now, that's all well and good. But they take it one step further when it comes to attention to detail and intention with their design. The definition in this portion of text is for the word splendor. And if you're not country, it's splendor. And this text, which is a definition, is for the word captivate. Oh, my stars. Really? Really? It's so fantastic. 1000% fantastic. I had initially said I was going to put these elements on the outside, but I decided to bring them in because it just draws the attention to the focal point, which is the photograph of Ashley. And if I had put these elements outside, it just kept expanding the design, and I wanted to keep the design in the center of these two large graphic elements. Now, I love these foliage designs. I think they're beautiful. I love the collage element of the design. I think that is fantastic. But I just wanted to highlight that if you slow down and think about it, it's really easy to design with these elements already created on the paper. So I'll get off my soapbox. You've been with me for a bit today as I created with this Wedgwood paper from 49 and Market. I'm so stinking happy with it. I love it. Anyway, let's come back and we will chat again soon. Bye-bye.